Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Aoi Tori. It's been a little bit since I last recorded, but I believe where we're at is, well, we're in Sayo's route obviously, but Sayo has lost her powers. More specifically, Ritsu has most likely taken them because his abilities as the savior of all demon kind have been growing. He's just been getting so much more powerful to the point where he can just do anything. He's probably, I guess he didn't mean to, but he's probably most definitely absorbed her power, which is probably a bad thing because she probably relied on that in a way. Like that was like a crutch or something that she needed to not live, but it became a structure in her life. Now that that structure is gone, she's weaker, just doesn't really have the energy. She keeps falling asleep. It's as if like a whole ass bone was taken out of her body, and a sizable one at that. It was no trouble. More importantly, how are you feeling? I move over and place my hand on her brow, causing Sayo to giggle. By the way, I'm a little, not sick, but I'm recovering from like a cold, so if I sound awful, more so than usual, that is why. This clearly isn't normal. I can hardly say her complexion is good. I'm pretty sure she just has to like learn how to live now without her powers. Sayo smiles and looks away. I start to frown. Is that so? Also, I had started to record this like sometime last week, but a couple minutes in, there was some noise and I had stopped the recording. And then whenever I came back to my computer, I was like, I'm gonna record something else. So that's why that little note is there on the dialogue boxes. But nah, you fell asleep today. It's the evening now, though. Sayo looks down at her own clothes. She pats herself down, making sure it's all still there. I could have asked Mary to change her clothes again, but I decided against putting Sayo through anything that wasn't completely necessary. No, we did not. Just how messed up do you think I am? Who would do that to a sleeping girl? I mean, I have to admit that the thought of having your way with a completely defenseless girl is a bit of a turn-on, but still. Sayo giggles at my response. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of kinks that people, you know, might have, like, oh, that might be fun or whatever, but logic and common sense usually comes into play. And in a situation like this, the other party can't really consent, so it's just a bad idea all around. I guess if like the other party said, hey, I'm gonna go take a fat nap, you're more than welcome to strip me down and do whatever the hell you want to me. I guess that might be consent, especially if you're in a relationship. But still, it's like, it's a little weird because you can't get the current consent. No, it's hardly the time for this, but she's making me flustered anyway. Especially in the way that she remains cute while saying the most indecent things. Just stop already. I finally snap. Sayo keeps her mouth closed but cocks her head as if to ask me what. The corners of her mouth raise up provocatively, though there are signs of stress hidden behind them. We're both at our limits. I get why you're joking around and trying to act all cheerful, but this really isn't the time to be talking about sex. Why? Why is this the best time? Sayo counters deadly serious. But Sayo grabs my wrist. I stare down at her hand. Her grip should feel weak, but I feel a solid connection to her that goes beyond just skin contact. It's like my little sister's warmth, her scent, are being pumped through my veins. And I don't think that's a metaphor. I'm still stealing something from Sayo. We're stealing her life force. But what? That is the question. Sayo lied to me back in the courtyard when she said that she was fine not having her powers. It was a lie done out of kindness, but a sad lie all the same. Often people will say that they're fine simply so as not to worry others, even when they're truly not. As a priest, it's a possibility I always have to consider. Sayo groans. Her legs tremble. Yet she still looks up at me with slightly flushed cheeks and clouded eyes.
私の体を気遣ってくれるのは嬉しいけど、したいの、私が。
That's like me saying, yeah, I just got my appendix removed, but like, hey, it's time to go downtown, if you know what I mean. It's a necessity. We both want this. I also hope I never have to get my appendix removed. That doesn't seem like the funnest of times. There's been like 2 F1 drivers that have had their appendixes removed due to like complications in like the past 2 or 3 years. It's very weird. Sayo has a heck of a way with words, but she means every word she says. I know because my powers divulge the truth within a person's heart. Even so, Sayo cuts me off again, telling me not to continue. She looks like she's suffering, suffocating even though my touch should be bringing her sheer bliss. Sayo bites her lip and looks up at me again. I wish a romantic interest in my life, which doesn't exist, would say that to me. That'd be awesome. That would be enough to make me go weak in the knees. I can't just say nothing, Sayo. I shake my head. A brother's #1 duty is to protect his little sister. You could have just said, like, a boyfriend's duty is to protect his girlfriend, but nope. That's how we have to word it. Sayo smiles in defeat. She's going to stop hiding the truth from me. Sayo mutters through frequent pauses. Damn, so it's not even physical contact, it's like even just a non-physical connection. Yeah, we are taking her life force. I have no words. I had considered this, but it was the outcome I least wanted. But I know that if I had just had sex with her without confirming it, I would have regretted it for the rest of my life. The devil brought me my little sister as a gift, a Christmas present, a weight to balance the scales against Mary, to make me suffer and agonize, the vanishing twin. While Sayo and I had similar powers, they were by no means in balance. Hers was the power to give, mine was the power to take. The devil plans to kill Sayo, or to make me kill Sayo, to have the brother kill the sister. That would make it a tragedy. It knew that love between siblings, members of the same family, would turn into poison. That would make it a comedy. Everything has gone according to its plan, right up to us finding out.
Ritsu?
Sayo's voice brings me back to reality. There's a gentle, out-of-place smile on her face. No, it's not. There's nothing okay about this shit. What is? She raises her slender arms and places her hands on my cheeks, I feel warmth. A warmth that I'm stealing from Sayo.
命を失うとしても、それ以上のものを得られるなら、それでいいって覚悟してた。死ぬのはやっぱり怖い。でも死を恐れて生きるのを諦めることを私は選べない。
And yet
私
you
は
keep going. You keep pushing the
生
problem
きて
here.
いるんだから。
The envelope is indeed being pushed.
大丈夫。
It's not okay.
男としての律もお兄ちゃんとしての律もすごく好きなの。
I'm still hoping that they're not actually siblings. For the sake of my sanity, at least. I listened to her speak in silence, scrutinizing her every word. They're similar enough to thoughts I've had myself, so of course I can sympathize. But still, she knew this would happen right from the start. Of course, the night we met, she drank wine, to distract herself from the fear. Then she went straight after me. Live fast, die young. Hidden behind that phrase is Sayo's desire to see her life fulfilled, albeit in a different way to marry. That wasn't something that I understood until recently. My resolve had been too weak, and that difference between us is overwhelming.
律。
Sayo calls my name again. She holds me in eyes that may as well be my own reflected in a mirror.
余計なことは考えないで。私だけを見て。
Look, I respect how carefree you are, but this is just not good.
何も間違っていたなんてことはない。だから抱いて、律。つまらないことで私を愛することをやめないで。
She smiles sweetly. Her hand still on my cheeks, she leads me to the bed. I shuffle along slowly. Come on, bro, put on the brakes. But before long, we collapse on top of it.
私を食べて、
The fuck?
お兄ちゃん。
I am never using that term. Well, okay, maybe I'll use it once. See how it goes. Well, this is an interesting image. I don't know why it's like this, but interesting nonetheless. Very, very interesting. When it all ends, I become aware of how silent the room is, as if everything outside of here, even the world itself, has vanished. But I don't feel lonely, because I have my sister here, because I'm not alone in the world.
静かね。
Yeah,
この部屋以外、外の世界が消えちゃったみたいに静か。
I was just thinking the same thing. The two of us are huddled together by the window, a single sheet wrapped around us to cover our naked bodies, doing a terrible job. Doing an absolutely terrible fucking job. It's gotten shockingly dark outside. Not because it's so late, but because it started to snow. Dark clouds in the sky block even the slightest ray of moonlight from getting through.
雪は好き。
Sayo says, gazing out of the window. But her eye line leads to my reflection. I notice I'm looking at her in the same way. Both of us looking at another person with an almost identical face to our own. I like the snow too.
いつもはうるさい世界の音が消えるし、寒いとくっついていて幸せな気分になれるもんね。
But is it better than sand? I guess I like the way it makes the world all white and pretty.
まあ似たようなものよ。
I don't know, I think it makes the school grounds look all nasty for some reason. Sayo's hands are crawling all over my naked body under the sheets. She touches my arms, my chest, my back, my hips, my penis. But not in a lewd way. She's just exploring, that's all. Even when she touches my groin, it's as if she's trying to take in my entire existence in a loving way. Even though my touch is a poison eating away at her life. I'm touching her in the same way. My hands running over her smooth, slightly sweaty skin that had been flush with arousal till mere moments ago. I'm checking that she still has warmth to her, trying at least to make her forget the fear of death.
力がなくなったのなら、私も
At this rate, you're not going to even be alive.
今なら普通の子供を産むことができるのかな。
I find myself unable to answer straight away. I think she was mostly talking to herself. We are no normal people. And the fact that we were abandoned by our mother links into why we're hesitant to have children of our own.
別に今から子作りしましょうとかそういう話じゃないから。
Sayo smiles wryly at me.
リツってたくさんセックスして仲出しもしてるのに子供ができないんだっけ？
Oh wait, are we asking a very serious question here? Like, are we going past the anime logic? Well, yeah. She probably heard that from the devil.
居心地は悪いだろうけど。
Wait, we're
でも
sterile?
そういう真面目な話じゃ
Straight
な
up?
くて。
Is that what we have going on here?
それって種なしとかじゃなくてリツが無意識に相手が妊娠しないようにしていたの
Oh,
かもね。
okay, that's how it works. Okay. Unconsciously stopping your partners from getting pregnant. Got it. Yeah, maybe. I admit it and then think to myself, I mean, why not? Why can't that work? I would be in a lot of trouble if I got someone pregnant, especially given my position at the academy. Although I have no strong thoughts on the matter, since in the end, I would just be getting what I deserve. It would also cause a lot of trouble for the girl. And above all, I really am incredibly hesitant over the idea of having a child of my own in the first place. I have thought a lot about whether a child of mine would end up inheriting my powers since I found out about myself.
悪魔の計画が妹の私にリツの子供を産ませる気なんじゃないかっていうのが。
That would have been preferable. I speak from the bottom of my heart.
そうだったらそれでよかった。
Sayo mutters in agreement. But that's not how it is. The devil has a far greater tragedy in store for us. Hey Sayo, all this talk about children has reminded me of something I've never really discussed with Sayo before.
何？
Do you think you could forgive our mom? I'm referring to a conversation that we had the first day we met, when Sayo said that she could never forgive our mother. Man, that is a rough one, isn't it? I see her eyes waver in her reflection. Our mom probably knew that if we were together, we'd end up falling in love and that it wouldn't lead to anything good.
そうね。
That our mother did a good thing. Well, besides the abandoning part, but the separation thing I think made the most fucking sense. But how would you ever even, have thought that, honestly? And though she couldn't do anything to help me, I'm sure she wanted you at least to have a normal life. As a normal person. I think that's why she left you in the city, with all those people around you.
そうね。
And then we got cursed and stuck here. This reply is a little clearer, accompanied by a nod. You still don't think you can forgive her?
やっぱり許せない。
Sayo answers, sounding apologetic that she can't give me the answer I wanted to hear.
私はそれでも家族と一緒にいたかった。それくらい寂しかったんだから許してあげない。
Okay. I can understand her. In not forgiving our mother, Sayo is ensuring that she'll never forget about her either. I'm okay with that. Sayo gets to choose the way that she lives her life.
まあ実際に顔を合わせたら泣きじゃくるでしょうね私。
Huh, I'll bet. I managed to laugh a little at how Sayo is still managing to be honest even at a time like this.
ねえリツ眠くなってきた。
Oh, here we go. Sayo lowers her eyelids, assailed by an intense drowsiness. That's okay, you can sleep.
まだ起きられるかな。
Probably not, but you kind of brought that on yourself this time around. She mutters childishly, rubbing her eyes.
とこれ私の最後は眠るみたいに静かなものだと思うの。
Don't worry, this isn't the end. I'll be by your side the whole time so I can wake you up. I say gently as I embrace her. Me who is simultaneously trying to kill and comfort her. Self-hatred is burning inside of me.
きっと起こして
Sayo's hand flounders against my chest.
絶対に
Damn, she is tired.
起こして絶
She's just straight passing out right now.
怖いお兄ちゃん。
Usually fear can keep you awake, but no, she's just losing it. Sleep takes its hold on Sayo, her eyes filled with tears. May your sleep at least be a peaceful one. I pray. The miracle child continues to pray, even though he knows, when he thinks about it logically, that no prayer will save the girl. I lay Sayo down in bed. I know I said that I would stay by her side, but I immediately pick my clothes off of the floor and get dressed. And then I take out my phone. Think. What would be the most appropriate stage for appealing to the devil? The greenhouse? The chapel? No, neither of those. I open the window and go outside. Oh, what the fuck? What the hell's going on out here? Jesus Christ. It's as if the world is ending, with the snow having become a blizzard. Although, perhaps not. Maybe the world is changing in accordance with my heart. I'm losing it, going crazy, which makes this all the more fitting. I kick off the ground, soaring above the rooftop. The freezing snow steals away the warmth I had shared with Sayo, making it feel even more like I'm becoming a part of the world itself. It's numbingly cold, I mutter. Usually my breath would form a white cloud in this weather, but the strong winds blow it away before it gets a chance. I don't care anymore. I've had enough. I'm done with this. My words vanish into the void. But that's fine. I'm not talking to anything that exists in this world. I know you're not trying to make me kill Sayo. All you would get out of that would be my resentment. Which means that there's a way to save her. That's Mary. Mary's the one you want me to kill. Finally, my phone rings. I answer it as if it were a natural occurrence. Yeah, we figured it out. Yeehaw. A vulgar, unrestrained voice spills out of the speaker. Yeah, well, there it is. I was willing to accept the powers of the savior of demonkind if it allowed me to kill this thing. But right now, I can contain my bloodlust. The devil was waiting for this moment to tell me how to save Sayo, waiting for the moment it knew it would have the most effect on me. Sublimely done, I have to admit. The devil says, the name alone being enough to convey what it means. Killing her is a surefire way to destroy whatever conscience I have left. But I'm going to do what needs to be done. I take a calm, deep breath, filling my lungs with the cold air to kill off my emotions. Nothing else matters as long as I can save Sayo. So that means that we're actually going to just go ahead with killing one of our closest friends. One of the closest people in our life, because I still stand by it. That intro was really heavy hitting. I love that intro to this story, and I still hold it dear. Even so, I didn't really like the Sayo route because it kind of just went in a giant-ass fucking loop with her character. I still really enjoy her character at times, and also the connection that she has with Ritsu, what they had been through in such a short period of time. So if he's, able and willing to just go ahead with that, then that's big. That is a true sign of how much Ritsu has changed and how much his powers are beginning to corrupt his mind. The next morning, it's only 4 a.m., which means I woke up earlier than Mary for once. Though it's less that I woke up early and more that I couldn't sleep. I'm making a standard breakfast for us all. Rice, miso soup, and grilled fish. Sadly, my taste test resulted in disappointment. I followed Mary's recipe, so technically it tastes fine, but I used the exact same ingredients, seasonings, quantities, but my breakfast has turned out bland. Probably because I'm missing something more intrinsic, like love. She hardly needs to have a secret ingredient when her cooking is so full of love, I guess. Love is a real secret ingredient. I smile wryly as I rummage through a rarely used cupboard. In it is a set of silver tableware that came with the residence. I take out a knife. It's a standard bread knife, with the blade not sharp enough to cut my skin. So I stare at it. To melt it, reform it, sharpen it, I hear an unfamiliar creaking as the blade compacts together. I test it out by stabbing at the table, which the knife penetrates as if it were melted butter. This will do. My words are calm, but the thought of what I'm meant to do with this knife sends a chill up my spine and breaks me out in a cold sweat.
化け物には銀のナイフと杭ですな。
A laugh echoes from the pocket that has my phone in it. The devil set up the pretense that it'll be serving me even more faithfully from now on. And while it says it's to help me, I imagine it's simply waiting or wanting to see whether I'm really about to stain my hands with blood. Like some kind of extra perverse peeping Tom, or perverse, excuse me. Remind me again how I saved Sayo. I command the devil while sliding the knife into the back of my pants.
黒崎さよの存在は神や悪魔も予期していなかった偶然の産物であり、母親の体内であなたの影響を受け、力の一部を身に宿しました。微々たるものですが、それは完全にあなたの力です。だからこそ、あなたのそばにいる限り、黒崎さよは死が訪れるまで命を奪われ続けます。
It really is her life force.
愛し合わなければ、こんな結末にはならなかったでしょうがね。
Yeah, I guess you could argue we chose wrong.
水が高きから低きに流れるように、カエサルのものをカエサルに変換するように、存在の吸収は単なる自明のことです。それを止めるには、黒崎さよに別の命と抵抗力を持たせるのが最も手早いことでしょう。すなわち、すぐに取り得る手段としては吸血鬼になること。それも血を吸われて下僕としての吸血鬼になるのではなく、メアリー・ハーカーを殺して血をすすり、吸血鬼の主になること。
Oh, okay.
あの吸血鬼の娘は僕らではありますが、その身に宿した血はなかなか高貴なものであり、黒崎さよにその力があれば、リツ様のそばにいても命を奪われることはなくなるでしょう。リツ様が闇の救世主であるなら、黒崎さよは夜の女王となる。
Damn, we're gonna have some wicked ass titles in Final Fantasy XIV or World of Warcraft, whichever one you guys play. So it's a choice between her and Mary.
他の可能性もあるでしょうが、まあ、残り時間や確実性を考えれば、
I even brought up that discussion earlier. You know, it's not even a choice. We chose Sayo, so there we go. It's better than being sent off to the Himalayas to find some legendary flower at least.
今の話には重ねて嘘偽りはございません。
The devil says relatively seriously. Irritatingly, that means it probably hasn't lied to me. Just don't get me started on how it held back all this information until there was no longer a reason to lie to me.
このままメアリー・ハーカーの部屋に向かわれますか？
Not yet. I mutter emotionlessly. I have to get Sayo to drink Mary's blood, so I'll need to get her to agree to it first.
同意など必要なく、メアリー・ハーカーの首をかき切り、黒崎さよに無理やり血を飲ませればいいでしょうに。
Is that your opinion or an order?
どちらもめそうもない愚かな独り言です。
Uh-huh. Then I'll do this my way.
結構。しかし、黒崎さよの命の期限はクリスマス
Oh,
の
of
前後
course
あたり
Christmas
で
is
し
the
ょう。
deadline, of course.
運命的なリミットですな。それまではせめて人間らしくあがくのもよろしいかと。
What a fun situation we are in this time. With a shallow laugh, the call ends. I stop myself from clicking my tongue. I'm being played for a fool. I'm supposed to murder Mary in cold blood to save Sayo. Even the devil probably doesn't fully believe I'll go through with it. But at the same time, I'm acting like I plan to, by preparing the knife, so it won't seem like I'm bluffing either. I mean, even if we are, our thoughts can be read by the devil. At any rate, if this is the only choice available to me, then the devil is assuming the result is already set in stone. Christmas, that's as far as I can put this off. That's the deadline. December 25th, huh? It's not something I think about often, but Christmas was the day I was abandoned at the academy. That meant that Christmas ended up being my birthday, although in reality I would have been born a few days earlier. It certainly does feel like this was predetermined. There's only one path I can take. I've thought it over, and this is where the curtain falls. But if at all possible, I want to bring this absurd play to a close without anyone getting hurt. It's more a wish than a want, I suppose. Well, what's a guy to do? I smile. Mary did once tell me that she wanted to die so that she could live. And now I understand how she... Wait, what? Mary did once tell me that she wanted to die so that she could live? What? And now I understand how she felt? I truly do? All that's left is to see how long I can act this out for. Naturally, the devil came to me while hiding something, but so did Mary and Sayo both. They all know how to lie, albeit not all of them do it maliciously. Just how long am I, known for being absurdly honest, going to be able to deceive them all for? I'll play my part, all the way to the end. I pray that by at least not lying to myself, I'll be able to live without regret. I hear the door open. And there she is. Mary comes into the kitchen. Morning. Yeah, I woke up early. I smile toward her, my hand resting over the knife.
Sayo-chan wa?
She's still asleep, not because she collapsed or anything, just because she's never up this early.
そっか、まだ朝の6時だもんね。
She says while lifting the lid off the saucepan that I was cooking in to check inside.
やっぱり朝はお味噌汁の匂いがいいね。
Because of my powers, she has no idea that Sayo fell asleep in the courtyard yesterday, or that neither of us were in afternoon classes. Yeah, we put a veil over the entire academy or some wacky shit. I watch her innocently move around the kitchen, and imagine myself driving the knife into her throat or back. The thought of it makes me nauseous and fills me with fear, but I also notice a dark sense of excitement within me. I would be destroying the very personification of goodness in this world. Murderers are the ultimate thieves. What they steal is gone forever. I feel nothing but contempt. Hey, Mary.
何？早起きして手持ち豚さんだし、私も追加で卵焼きとか作ってもいい？
Sure. Isn't that meant to be bird? I think it would be best if we canceled the play given Sayo's condition. I know it's sudden, but it would be better to do it before we start inviting people to watch. Damn, I don't like that. I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense that we would cancel it, but, you know, that's Mary's big thing here. Mary says in a way that's far more carefree than I was expecting. Yeah, sorry. You were really looking forward to it, right? And now all the time you spent working on that script was for nothing. Right. That is true. There will be time after Christmas, when all these problems are squared away. Oh, one more thing. Do you remember the promise we made when I chose Sayo to play the lead? Mary looks at me blankly, but I don't miss how her eyes have turned serious. I'm sure you remember, but I'll remind you anyway. I said that if something happened as a result of me choosing Sayo, and you tried to stop me, but I pushed on regardless, and you then decided there was no hope left for me, that I wanted you to kill me. And that if you couldn't, then I wanted you to tell me I should die. That's what we promised. Mary scratches her cheek. I smile at her calmly. What do you think about me now? Good point. I can't tell you. I smile wryly at Mary, her eyes narrowed in exasperation. I don't know. I know I'm not making any sense, but that's why I needed to speak to you. Yeah, I agree. Then breathe an exhausted sigh. Do you think I should be stopped then? Oh boy. Mary answers immediately. Her expression undergoes a complete change too.
他人の意見なんて関係ない。他の誰かを言い訳にすることは、少なくとも私は自分には許さない。結果の喜びも後悔も誰かと分かち合うとしても、一人一人は全て自分で背負うの。そうやって背負った重さで自分が成長することで、誰かのためとかもっと新しいことができるようになる。そうであるべきだもん。
Mary's words come as calmly and clearly as always. I take them into my heart and digest them. I have to shoulder the weight of whatever may come. That weight will let me grow, and through that I'll be able to walk beside others in the truest sense. I won't be chasing after those ahead of me, but standing beside them, lending a hand to those struggling to keep up. It's a very normal thing. Living life with your eyes fixed firmly ahead. That's what makes it so precious, and also so difficult. For people are quick to bend, they get persuaded, they avert their eyes. You know, I wouldn't believe half of that if you weren't the one saying it, Mary. I smile wryly again, while hiding a knife in my clothes.
私だってこんな偉そうなことずっと考えたりはしてないよ。
You don't need to be getting all self-conscious about it.
だって賑やかね。
Oh, she's awake. A third voice jumps into the mix. I look over to see Sayo peering through the door Mary opened earlier.
おはよう、さやちゃん。
Mary lets out a strange noise when she looks at Sayo. I imagine she feels exactly what I do. Sayo's eyes look very glazed over, even for someone who just woke up. She looks exhausted. Morning, Sayo. You okay?
おはよう。正直ダメね。
The honesty is, it's nice. Sayo kneads her temple and then tries to smile but doesn't manage to. She's clearly experiencing the after effects of us having sex. And all the other problems, because they're still there. They're still present. We both wanted it, but it stings nonetheless.
悪いけど今日は学園を休むから教師にそう言っておいて。
I'm staying here then.
リツは学園行きなさいよ。来週にはもうテストでしょ。
Yes, we do. I shake my head. Nothing's more important than you, Sayo.
なんでメアリーの方が私より先に反応する
Because she's the big sister character or whatever.
リ
She
ツ
has to
君も
react.
男の子だなーって。むしろさやちゃんがそこまで驚いていない方が不思議。私もリツと同じ気持ちだから。リツより大事なものなんてこの世にない。君たち兄弟はそれをこんな朝っぱらから私の目の前で言う？言葉以上のものも見たい？なんか兄弟でのチューとか見たらやっぱり恥ずかしいし。
A kiss is essentially nothing by this point, but Mary looks adorable blushing like that.
恥ずかしいならもっと恥ずかしいこと言うから。ちょっとお兄ちゃんと二人にさせて。
Oh, shit.
私も言われてみたい。
No, you don't.
私のお兄ちゃん以外でいい男を探しなさい。ごちそうさまでした。
Jesus. Mary jokingly bows before departing the kitchen. Sayo sighs and then staggers toward me. She looks like she's going to collapse, so I catch her. Is it bad?
辛いから甘えさせて。
Sayo smiles softly, like my touch is reassuring her. Even though we both know the effect is actually the opposite. Does it hurt?
どこも痛くはないけどだるいというか。
Sayo raises a hand slightly. I can see it shaking.
体に力が入らなくて
Ugh.
指先とか手足の先の感覚が鈍くなってる。
That's a terrible feeling to have.
食べるの
I've
面
been
倒
there.
で2食くらい
It's a
になっちゃって
terrible fucking feeling.
体にカロリーが足りてない時みたいな感じ。
Sayo smiles at her own bad habits. In this case, she's not lacking calories, but the essence of life itself. The way she suddenly falls asleep could be her body's way of attempting to keep her alive. In any case, I'm staying home today.
そうならたくさん甘やかしてくれるの？
As long as we don't do anything excessive.
なんでもって私のあるかどうかもわからない理性みたいなものを試しているの？
Sayo giggles. She then snuggles up to me, reaches up on her tiptoes, and steals my lips away. It's a brief kiss, just a moment of contact, but I get a waft of sweetness. It smells like honey.
これはよほどのこと？
No, I enjoyed it. I laugh in an almost whisper. But we're not going any further. You need your rest.
育児なし。
Uh-huh. Sayo says provocatively, but I'm sure she knows that she's in no condition for it. She won't even make it until Christmas if we act recklessly.
それじゃあ代わりに何をしてくれるの？
I could, slice you an apple?
うさぎの形にね。
Sayo clings to me again. Well, with our powers, anything is possible. It's partially an expression of love, but also because she doesn't have the strength to stand up on her own.
ねえ、リツ。遠慮も後悔もしないでね。
I know. I hug Sayo back without changing my expression and stroke her head. Can you make it back to bed?
もう寝るのはいい。だるいだけで眠気はないから。サロンでダラダラする。
Okay. I support my sister as we slowly make our way to the lounge. Oh, this is gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, man. I don't know how things are gonna go down. I don't know what the solution is, but it's gonna be rough. We've had breakfast now, and I've provided Mary with her blood-infused tea, as is tradition.
私は行ってきますだよ。行ってらっしゃい。それと、クリスマスの劇が中止になったのは悪かったわ。
I told Sayo about how we had to cancel the play, and now she's going to apologize to Mary.
ごめんなさい。いいのいいの。いいならいいわ。いや、
Well, that was
いいんだけど。
that was quick.
もうちょっとだけ首相にしていられないのかな。
No, I feel bad. I feel really bad. Like, as much as I'm kind of annoyed that we have to go through this play shtick like 3 to 4 times, yeah, I still kind of feel bad that Mary's not going to be able to go through with it after the work that everybody's put in thus far, especially her.
何よ。
She's put in the most so far.
女に二言はないでしょ。ないない。さよちゃんがそういうとこは元気そうでよかった。それが何よりだもんね。
Mary smiles, puts on her coat, wraps her scarf around her neck, and heads out. It's a lot quieter now.
メアリーがいなくなると部屋が寒くなった気がする。
Sayo mutters after she watches Mary leave. She's probably astounded herself with how sentimental she's getting. Yeah, it's like she has the power to brighten the room and warm it up just by being there.
蛍光灯か暖房みたいなものね。
Sure, something like that. I was going for something more poetic, like comparing her to a fireplace. Wait, that's just as bad. At any rate, Sayo does seem to be doing well mentally at least. Anyway, let's use this time to relax.
気持ちいいこと抜きでね。
You want it that bad.
お兄ちゃんはセックスの最中、相手をどれだけ気持ちよくして
I
るか。
think he's, painfully aware. Because of my powers, right?
それもあるけど、お兄ちゃんはやることが必要だし。
Thanks. I scratch my head. I am always thinking about making the girl feel good, I guess. Not to change the topic, but do you still wish Mary wasn't living with us?
露骨に話をそらしたわね。
Whenever we have sex, Sayo, you get the horniest expression on your face. Like, you'd never believe it from how dignified you act normally. Do you even know how much that turned...
わかった。
Yeah, I don't know. We're just throwing all that out. See?
ムカつく。
Sayo puffs out her cheeks. I smile. Now that sex is out of the picture, Sayo feels a lot more like my little sister.
そうね。メアリー抜きの生活か。ここに来た頃、私が言ってたんだもんね。
Sayo looks up at the ceiling.
メアリーがいてくれてよかった。
She's a great cook, huh?
リツとメアリー、どっちの料理も美味しいけど。
I think she's far better, personally.
向こうは向こうで、リツのご飯の方が美味しいって思ってるかもよ。
Huh?
聞いたことないんだ。
Now that you mention it, I don't think we have.
何かの才能とか技術を持ってる人間って、
They are?
そこが付け入る好きだからいいんだけど。
That's an interesting way to conclude from that. And scary, but that's what she likes about it. We run out of things to say, but the silence isn't awkward. It's been a long time since I last relaxed. Sayo, having nothing to do, gets up and starts walking around the lounge, looking at all the ornaments and houseplants. Are you sure you're okay to be up right now?
大丈夫。少しだけ元気になってきた。
You are?
風邪とかでも学校を休むって決めた瞬間、楽になったりしない？
I'm familiar with it. I smile wryly. Personally, though, it makes me anxious. I wonder what they're saying about me in class while I'm not around.
私は前に学校にちょっと行ってた頃は、教室にいても陰口叩かれてたわよ。
Hey, I used to get that too. Good times back in high school. I can see that happening. I bet all those kids got a taste of Sayo's powers, though.
でも、もうここが私の家。
Sayo smiles brightly.
私とリツの家。
Weren't you just saying you like Mary living here?
ペットか。
Alright. She would make a good mascot.
帰る場所があるっていいことなのね。
She smiles happily.
あったかくて明るいだけで安心できる。
I was lonely here, back when it was just me. I thought it was stupidly big, cold, and empty. Sayo returns my forced smile with a blank look.
ああ、そうかな。結局場所より自分にとっての誰かがいるかどうかか。それならやっぱりここに来てリツに会えてよかった。
Thank you for coming into my life, Sayo.
どういたしまして。
She giggles.
昼間からこんなこと言ってるとくすぐったい。
You wouldn't mind if it were the evening?
夜ならいいの。お酒があればなおいい。
No more drinking the church wine for you.
ケチ。
She pokes her tongue out at me. How adorable. It's an awful shame I can't run over there and hug her, but not being able to touch her just makes my love stronger. I find myself staring at Sayo. Should I tell her now that drinking Mary's blood will let her live? No. I know she would refuse. I don't even have to ask. Impatience is making my blood boil, but all I can do is wait for Sayo to reach her limit. At that point, someone will have to do something. And that's what I need to find out. Just like in Mary's route.
どうしたの？
Waiting till the absolute last fucking minute. Sayo notices me staring and cocks her head. Oh, nothing really. Just looking at you makes me feel so happy.
バカなこと言わないの。
Sayo opts to hide her embarrassment behind her anger.
も
Or
う、
behind anger.
リツはたまにストレートに歯の浮くようなことを言うんだから。
Should I do that more?
それは困る。
Oh.
でも、たまには女としては言われたい。
Her honesty makes me laugh.
それにしても時間が余る。
Sayo says, looking up at the clock. Not even 10 minutes have passed since Mary left. What do normal couples do when they have time like this?
そうね。私もそのあたりは詳しくないけど、出かけないなら今みたいにおしゃべりしたり、ゲームと。
That's fun enough for me.
私もそうだけど、話の合間にでも間を持たせる何かは欲しいところね。
I can make us some tea. Then we can study. Hey, studying is great with your partner, honestly. Like, even if it's not on the same subject, or like a few years ago whenever I was studying for my personal final and my partner was doing her stuff, like, yeah, we weren't doing the same thing, but we were in our pain together. Sayo makes the most displeased face I have ever seen. We have tests coming up, and since you can't go to school, you'll need to study at home instead.
いや、
She vigorously shakes her head. She must really hate this. Sayo.
なんでこんな時に勉強なんてしなきゃいけないの？
I can understand her point of view, considering that her life is in danger. But we should carry on under the assumption that she will have a future. Ensuring you do what you need to leads to a peaceful heart.
勉強 心の苦悩とか面倒くさいにつながるのよ。
Hey, you know how they say that you can tell what someone is really like by the way they'd spend their last day on Earth? This is the same.
お兄ちゃん、そんな日が来たら何をするのよ。
What would I do, honestly? What would you guys do? Me personally, I think I would try to write to everybody that I've ever known, starting with the people closest to me and kind of just spreading more and more outward. Like, I don't know, I just want to let them know that, like, hey, you know, it was fun and you were cool or whatever. Just, I don't know. I like the connections made with people, so probably my last day on Earth would just be, you know, trying to get in contact with as many people as I can and letting them know how I feel about them at the very end, and that's it. Very boring, I know, but that's how I would do it. If there was no way to avoid the end, I would just live it as normal.
それはただの地味っていうのよ。
Yeah, that's worse than mine. What would you do?
リツとご飯を食べて、エッチなことして、気分よく寝てる間に最後を迎える。
The three greatest desires themselves. I guess you also need to have your last supper, you know, have a very, very big final meal. Though her answer is probably the one closer to the truth. Anyway, we're getting off topic. The world isn't ending today, so it's time to study.
いや、
Sayo.
その名前だけ呼ぶのやめて。
Sayo squirms back from me.
勉強するくらいなら、私、部屋で寝てる。
She says as she slowly makes for the door. Noticing this, I fix my gaze on the door.
Huh?
What the fuck? Sayo steps through the door and instead of entering the corridor, she comes back into the lounge through the kitchen door. She looks around in shock. I've stopped you from leaving this room.
ちょっとそれ。
I've left her speechless. I produced some textbooks, notebooks, and other study materials out of thin air and set them on the table, grinning all the while. What's your worst subject, Sayo? Oh, come on.
保健体育。
And on that note, I open up the math textbook. Come on, Sayo. You're better than that. 6 hours later? Jesus Christ, okay. Cool, alright. We're really getting into it.
悪魔、陰険、むっつり牧年人、私のお兄ちゃん、なんちゃって聖職者。
Sayo manages to grumble even though she's exhausted. That last one actually hurt, so could you not please?
それが効くのね。覚えておく。
I should have kept my mouth shut.
それより、私のお兄ちゃんって別に悪口
I
じゃ
guess
ない
school
よ、ね。
is already done today.
悪口よ。照れ隠しみたいなものでしょ。
Mary is now back from class, and Akari has come with her to see how Sayo is doing.
何時間くらい勉強してたの？
We took a break for lunch and stuff, so probably 3 or 4 hours total.
勉強中にムラムラしてきちゃって、勉強どころじゃなくなるとかないのかしら。さよちゃんは相変わらずピンク色の脳みそだね。え？勉強とかしてるとムラムラしてこない？
Who would?
この場でそういう話はちょっと。
Akari goes bright red, glancing over at me. So you do you, Akari? In any case, despite what Sayo is saying, she actually seemed to be concentrating while we were studying. I think that might be because she's never experienced the student life before, so she actually found it interesting. She might not know as much as she should by now, but she has great memory. And as her older brother, it relieves me to know that she should be able to succeed in life even without her powers.
それより、またあかりまで来たのね。
She tends to be here, maid outfit and all.
心配ですから。気遣うくらいならリツと二人にさせておいて。それとなんであなた劇の練習でもないのに
She was doing that before you even came here. That's just her shtick.
それは
For whatever reason.
私の趣味。相変わらずなのね。
Sayo continues with her eyes half closed. I take a sip of tea, smiling at the pleasant scene before me. I'm sure I'd be happier if it was just Sayo and I, but I like moments like this too. Uh-oh. Sayo suddenly coughs. I look over in concern, but she's acting like it was nothing.
そういえばあかりも劇が中止になったことは悪かったわね。いえ
Honestly, like, from the bits and pieces that we saw of it in this rendition of the story, it didn't seem as interesting compared to the rendition in Mary's route. That's just me, though.
こっちもポジティブね。
Probably because they were trying to go for the incest thing in this rendition as well. They were following the route.
ああ、そうね。実家には劇が中止になったことは黙っておいて、のんびり冬休みを過ごすって言ってましたよ。したたかだわ。みんな女の子だね。そうなると中止にがっかりしてるのはゆきちゃんだけかも。ああ。
The three of us vocalize our realization at the exact same moment. That girl seemed like she was really looking forward to it.
まあ、上級生からの洗礼ということで。仕方ないね。お茶会とかお泊まり会でもして慰めておきます。そうね。
I don't like the fact that you're coughing like that. Come on. Sayo coughs again. This time Mary and Akari both look over as well, and she's holding her throat.
さよちゃん、風邪？そうじゃないけど。なんだか急に胸がムカムカしてきた。あ、付き添いますからトイレに。
Sayo staggers forward in an attempt to walk, but her legs are barely moving. I know I shouldn't touch her, but I can't stop myself from reaching out a hand.
ありがとう。
Sayo smiles happily as she takes my hand. Hers is supple, dainty, and cold. Then... oh shit. Yeah, she's dying. The sound of liquid accompanies Sayo's heavy coughing. Yeah, good old blood. For a moment, I don't know what's happening, and Sayo's looking blank as well. But when she moves her hand from her mouth, it's red. What's worse is that the red hasn't just stayed in her hand, but spread to the floor below. It would be like she had just squeezed down on a red fruit. If it weren't for the smell of iron, it's blood.
Sayo-chan!
The first to scream is Mary. Akari has both hands over her mouth and stumbles backwards in shock. Then, right in front of me and still holding my hand, Sayo's eyes lose focus, and she begins to wobble. I manage to catch her in time and stop her from falling. Sayo? I call my little sister's name. It comes out sounding hollow. I can't scream like Mary just did. If I did scream, I'd have to believe what I'm seeing. Sayo trembles as she smiles. The color in her skin has faded, leaving her white as a sheet. Her hand strokes my cheek. Warm blood is smeared over my face, though Sayo pays it no mind. God damn it, man. God damn it. Sayo. I take hold of her blood-stained hand and call her name, but this time I get no response. She's lost consciousness. Oh, this is getting worse. This would mark the last time the impending crisis felt manageable, with the sound of bells signaling the curtain rising on the final act. Yeah, that's one twisted way of putting it. Oh boy, we got the victory additions to my favorite location. Was it just one this time? It was, damn. Well, that's unfortunate for those who care, but alright guys, we did it. We got through route number 2 of 4, or at least I'm pretty sure there are 4. Sayo's route. This one took some time for me personally because for a while I just wasn't really grasping a whole lot of enjoyment, I guess, out of this one. I know that I kind of said the same shit back in Mary's. This one started out a little bit, surprising. I'd say it was kind of fun. But then it... oh, fuck. God damn it. I forgot. But then it kind of went into its like downward spiral, which was also in Mary's, but this one just kept on going down, down, down. It would not stop. And what kind of bothered me, and this is where there's actually a redeeming factor, believe it or not. What bothered me was that Ritsu was giving in to his powers. He was just kind of going along with the devil's plan. And sure, at the very end, he said like, "Oh yeah, haha, I knew that I was following your shit all along, and that's why I did this." But bro, it's too late. You've died. Sure, you saved Sayo, but like your idiocy and your I don't know what else you want to really call it, kind of just led him to go down that spiral with Sayo, but in a way where he would never be able to climb back out. He had to sacrifice himself, and I'm very impressed with the story for actually kind of, creating a sense of consequence. There's consequences to his actions. He should have realized that if he was doing all of this, he was going to lead not only himself, but Sayo to death's door. And maybe others. Mary was at risk of dying. She was a target in the case of Ritsu wanting to indeed sacrifice Mary for Sayo. His selfishness definitely disappeared at the end because he got rid of himself for the sake of the one he loved, sure, but goddamn, is Ritsu a fucking idiot? He is. So, having recognized this wasn't really the most enjoyable. I will say I'm happy that I kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of what this was, going to cover. The story of this route covered the, I guess, a little bit more with Sayo and Ritsu's backgrounds a little bit, specifically their mother. We finally got to meet the mother in a way. In a very weird way, but I guess when you have all these wacky demonic powers, anything is possible. Or at least so I would think. We got to kind of see the mother's intentions a bit. And there's reason to be disappointed there too. A lot of reason to be disappointed with the mother's character. But they basically made her out to be a bad guy. But also somebody that maybe you could say wasn't the worst individual in the story, maybe. I do wonder if Sayo would ever be able to forgive her after all of that, because she abandoned Sayo not in the same way as she abandoned Ritsu. Ritsu was just thrown onto the fucking streets, man. But Sayo was given to an orphanage because her mother realized that she would not be able to properly care for her. She would have a better life in somebody else's hands or something like that. So that was interesting, and it does maybe change how both of them really thought of their mother, because there were some questions on, where they came from. So that was interesting, at least. I just don't know. I feel kind of bad for saying nothing too positive about both of these routes. I would say that at least we had more going on in this one compared to Mary's, where it felt like we were just doing a repeat of the issue from the intro, just with a different coat of paint. So I'll give Sayo a little bit of a nudge on this one, which pains me with Mary, but I'll give Sayo's route a little bit of a nudge and say that it was a good time, kinda as good as it could be. Now, I'm a little skeptical on Risa's route, and I was saying this just a bit ago. I'm very unsure of what that's even going to cover, because even in this route, we barely saw her. We didn't see her at all after a certain point in Mary's route either, because she dipped on out for Christmas, so I don't know how to even, think about her character. I don't really know what to expect in any way. All I can really predict is maybe her sister's going to be involved in whatever the story ends up being. Maybe? I don't know. That's all I can really say. So I guess we'll jump into that in the next episode. Get back to it on the normal basis. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next episode, where hopefully I'm not as congested. It's been so long without my my voice being properly back, it kind of stinks, but we'll see.